we are cooking up something delicious in the kitchen behind me.
Yeah, you're going to want some cranberry muffins when you're checking out the sunset. Lucy Greer is here. Lucy, did you hear the boom or feel it last night? Did you hear people talking about it?
No, and I missed, what time was it? What'd y'all say?
So it was like
10:05.
Yeah.
10:05. I don't think I was asleep yet. No, we didn't hear it. Yeah.
Pretty
That
Pretty
is
cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about these cranberry muffins.
All right, so I intended to make cranberry muffins, but I forgot my muffin tins. So we're gonna make a cranberry in a baking dish.
Nice, I like that.
So we're gonna make muffins today. The kids were eating them this morning, so I thought, you know, now that school's out and people have possibly a little bit more time or wanting to do something with kids or grandkids, muffins are definitely a great thing to do with kids of all ages. So we're going to start out with our cranberries first, and I have this sauce pot here, and I have 1.5 cups of dried cranberries, and we are going to add 1/2 cup of water, and then I'm going to do the zest and juice of this orange, and we're just going to bring it up to a simmer, and then just give it a stir and turn off the heat and just let it rest for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to drain it. So we're just giving these cranberries some flavor before we put them in our muffins. I
love the fact that you have the orange zest to that too. That really adds a nice citrusy flavor to that.
Yes.
So how was, I know it's only been a few days, so you may not have time to fully evaluate, but how was the big Memorial Day weekend for Greer?
We had a great weekend. We had a great weekend personally, and the stores had a great weekend. It's fun, you know, they get to wear red, white, and blue over the holiday weekend. And like we always talk about, it's just interesting. A lot of people come down to the coast, of course, every year that live in other areas of the country. And so we have a lot of faces that our coast stores, you know, get to see every year. So it's kind of neat.
Cool.
And just new customers on big holiday weekends is always fun. Thank you. Yeah.
6?
Yeah, 6 is great. So we'll bring that up, and then like I said, we'll just bring that to a simmer and then turn it off, and those cranberries are going to plump up for us and have a lot of good flavor. So I'll just talk quickly about the dry ingredients here. So I sifted 2.5 cups of flour, and I added 1 cup of brown sugar, and then I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a little bit of salt, and some cinnamon, and I'm just going to get this brown sugar worked in. I just like to use a fork, and then we'll get to work later on our wet ingredients.
Sounds good. Just out of curiosity, what is the Super Bowl for grocery stores? Is it July 4th? Is it Memorial Day? Is it Thanksgiving? Is it Christmas?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
it really goes,
biggest,
Thanksgiving is the biggest, and then for us, and I don't know if it's just where we're located, but Thanksgiving and then 4th of July for us, and then probably Memorial and then Christmas. I mean, Christmas is pretty big, but it definitely doesn't rank all the way up there. And it's fun because we, and what are we coming up? We always do July 4th, and then we have 2 weeks of our anniversary. So we're coming up on our 107th year. So July is just always a big month for us anyway. So that's probably the second biggest after Thanksgiving.
Hey, I've been doing more shopping and getting out on the grill. It's that time of year.
It is.
It's so much fun, y'all. All right, so head to your local Greers. You can shop various different ways, order online, pick up all the good stuff. We're going to continue to work on these cranberry muffins, so to speak, here.
We'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, right here on Studio 10. Thanks a lot, Lucy.
We are back in the kitchen with Lucy Greer with Greer's Markets, cooking up some cranberry sort of muffins.
Yeah, I told you I forgot my muffin tins.
It happens.
So I made cranberry muffins last night that are displayed. So, you know, things can always go awry in the kitchen. So we are going to use I'll put everything in a baking dish. It's funny, our photographer Mick was like, "Is that going to work?" I'm like, "Yes, it's going to work, Mick. Come on, I'm just going to be confident." So what we already did is got started on our cranberries. So I used dried cranberries, 1.5 cups, and I added 1/2 cup of water and the zest and juice of 1 orange in this sauce pot. We just brought it up to a simmer and then just turned off the heat just so they could, the dried cranberries could plump up and absorb some of that flavor. So it's off the heat, and we'll get those drained and add them in. So what we also did in the first part was did our dry ingredients, which was flour, some baking powder, cinnamon, salt, and a little bit of brown sugar. So I got all that done. And now we're just going to do our wet ingredients, which is 2 eggs, I'm going to add a cup of milk, and I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So we're just going to add all this together and then get our cranberries drained, and we'll fold those in.
I was gonna say, I'm already smelling this a little
I know,
bit.
it really does
smells
smell
nice.
good.
Yeah, especially with the orange juice, it's really coming out. But also, I'm amazed at how simple this recipe is.
Yeah.
You guys were mentioning it earlier that the kids are out for summer break, and so you have to find ways to entertain them. And this seems like a good way to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, of course, are still working, but they have babysitters, or some are staying with grandparents, and so this would be a really good one. You know, might be a good goal, and it really should be a goal of mine, is to try, you know, maybe once a week or once every other week to get the kids in the kitchen. You know, I know you're the same as me. It's just like you're so busy, you just want to get supper on the table. Like, can I help? You're like, no.
Go watch TV.
Go watch TV. I know. I'm the same way. And but you know, if we could, when we do slow down, you know, those memories, and they learn so much. It's just so surprising. Jack, one of our twins, he's about to be 8. He said this morning, he said, when I grow up, I want to be a Greer's cooker, just like you. So I'm going to get started. And he was, you know, doing pancakes and putting all sorts of, you know, nutritious chocolate and caramel on it as I'm like trying to get ready. I'm like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever
you know,
want.
But it's just funny. I mean, they just absorb so much when you don't even realize it.
I was going to say, Layson loves to cook with us, especially we'll do either homemade pizzas, and that's her favorite, or homemade pasta, and she likes to be able to roll it out.
Oh, fun. Oh, my kids would love that. So yes, any opportunity, you know, even if it's just something small, or we're going to make a topping to go on these, and just even that, you know, let them come in. So we'll both try to do a better job being patient.
Goal for the summer.
Goal for the summer.
Awesome. So you're just going to fold those in?
Yep, I'm going to fold these in, and I sprayed our baking dish, and then we just are going to mix up a super quick topping to go on top of this. It'll be ready for the oven.
Awesome. And we're going to have the topping coming up in just a little bit with the final result. Can't wait to see that. We'll be back with Lucy coming up in just a little bit. And we'll be having more Studio 10 when we come back after this break.
Back in the kitchen with Lucy from Greer. So tell us what we're doing this morning here, Lucy.
We have made some batter.
We have made some batter.
Cranberry batter that I intended to put in muffin tins for our muffins, and I forgot our muffin tins.
Yeah.
So I'm improvising with an 8x8 baking dish that I found here. So if we were in our muffin tins, then we would have the batter all in there, and we would be making our topping either way.
I think the baking dish is not actually a bad
I know. I'm kind of looking forward to this. I mean, just like a little coffee cake.
Yeah.
So I know. I'm like, oh, good. Now this will be something else that I can do with this recipe. And we're gonna, the muffins will bake at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes, and it'll probably be about the same, I don't know, maybe 50 or an hour for that. But anyway, so I'm going to mix up our topping, which is 1/3 of a cup of flour and 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And I put a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon in there and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna mix that together. And I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So I'm going to mix this in. It'll get kind of crumbly.
Yeah.
And of course we would just distribute this across all the muffins, but now I'm just going to put it on top. And the process was pretty easy with this. We reconstituted some dried cranberries with some orange zest and juice and some water. We heated those up and then just let them cool right there on the stovetop. And then we just had our basic dry ingredients: flour, baking powder, some cinnamon, and salt. And then our wet ingredients was a couple eggs and our milk and some vanilla, and that's it. So now it's just ready for the topping.
Cranberry muffin breakfast
Cranberry
bars.
muffin breakfast bars. I know the kids like the flavor. They were all eating them this morning. My kids like dried cranberries, and of course anything with sugar. So it was kind of a win-win. So yeah, this will be. You can make them in mini muffins, of course. Those are always fun and good. And of course, if you didn't care for cranberries, you could use any dried fruit, or you could just use the same same dry and wet ingredients, and then just skip the reconstituting part and just put in some fresh blueberries or whatever else you'd like to put in there. It'll work too.
How you doing with the kids this summer? Got plans to?
They're doing swim team.
Yeah.
So they are. Yesterday was their first day, and they said, we don't want to go. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not going to listen to this all summer.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to go every day, so we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So they're doing that, and then some other camps. We have a babysitter all summer, so she's great. But summer's quick.
It is. It's quick, but it's also like we got 2 months to figure out what to do.
know.
You know. So it's a weird mix of it goes by super fast, but you have to like plan intensively for it.
I know.
So.
It really is strange.
All right, well, great stuff
Yes.
here. Lots of exciting things coming up at Greer's this summer, as we talked about. July 4th is coming up. Lots of big plans for that. Lucy, it's always great to have you.
Thank you.
And it's always great to have one of these muffins.
Have one.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Jen.